I know how to pronounce Brian Geisinger's name. My friend, ACCSports.com League Pass Lair. It is NBA playoffs. We've got Game 4 in Boston as the Celtics try to get that series even 2-2. Do we even know who's playing tonight? We got a lot of guys banged up. Jason Tatum got a stinger. We had Marcus Smart had another injury to the same leg, different body part. This is an ankle. He's had a foot problem. He's had a quad problem. Jimmy Butler didn't finish the game. We have no idea Kyle Lowry finally came back. We have no idea what his status is. Who's playing? Do we know?
And it seems like no Tyler Hero now tonight as well. So just like add one more, key player, one of the main characters from the series that
didn't they play without Tyler Hero already?
Well, yeah. I mean, and look, it's not the worst thing for their defense to not have Tyler Hero, but it, to give them one other guy that can create some shots. I suppose with Lowry back, it's maybe like less of a need, and they certainly, you could see right from the jump in Game 3, like the return of Kyle Lowry, how big that was for them. He switched on the Jason Tatum on Boston's first possession, and he immediately got Miami into transition for a bucket, like right after that. So I think having him back, like he didn't put up crazy stats, but you could just see the impact of having Lowry back as someone that could help Miami make sure that this wasn't strictly a half-court affair, and to do that, he helps them get stops. He puts another guy that can switch and be a very good help defender on the court. And then as far as like his link-up play and his ability to be a connector in the transition game with those hit-ahead passes, and also obviously hit a couple of shots too, was big. So, but it is unfortunate. Like, one of the stories of these playoffs has been, and I suppose this is the case every year, but has been just the amount of injuries. It's been it's unfortunate that it's been like such a constant this year.
It's like hockey. When we get this far in the playoffs, basically everybody's hurt. You just try to figure out who can play. Look, I want to talk about Kyle Lowry. For those people who have always been Kyle Lowry fans, I love the way he plays. There isn't necessarily, he's not a sexy scorer. He's not that guy. He's not necessarily a lockdown defender. I think what his skill is he's just a competitor. I mean, I hate to be all cliche about it, but I think that's what really he is. He is just an incredible competitive player and a winner. I think you and I probably talked about this. If I were the Lakers, that's the guy I would have gone and gotten to play alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, whether or not the analytics said it would work or not. That's the guy I would have wanted because of all of those other intangibles. Is he enough, if healthy, to get Miami past Boston?
Yeah, well, health is the key word, and that's the one. I think that's the one thing you could have worried about with him, like in a hypothetical Lakers scenario, because Anthony Davis, he misses a lot of time these days. Kyle Lowry is much older than Anthony Davis. He missed a ton of time, both regular season and the playoffs this year. But to your point, to the question, like when he is on the court, the guy is just constantly making winning plays. He's in the right place at the right time defensively. He's not that big, but his ability, his strength, I guess I should say, is pretty impressive for a player his size. And he competes, as you just mentioned. So his ability to switch and to lock arms with some of Boston's jumbo power creators on the wing, Brown, Tatum, Al Horford, like to be able to go out and switch at those guys is huge. It keeps the ball in front, it keeps Miami's defense out of rotation. It allows Bam Adebayo to float. Like, they can do all these different things. And Lowry is also an excellent help defender, and I thought that was critical for the Heat in the Game 3 win. The way they showed help defense on Tatum and on other, Marcus Smart was huge. And I thought ultimately that was actually one of the things that kind of like swung this series, was that Lowry and that defense, they were locked in. It gave them a little more versatility, and there was just more punch showing at the elbows, rotating on the backside, that type of stuff. And Lowry is a menace with all of it.
All right, let's if Marcus Smart can't play tonight, is Miami going home up 3-1? Although we have probably erred on counting teams out, even in individual games based on personnel. I mean, Boston probably figure out a way to win this.
Yeah, and like it's it's at home for them, and Tatum will bounce back, and Smart has taken on so much of the creation. Obviously, everyone knows his defense. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the world. He can switch. He unlocks a ton of stuff for them as a help defender and as a switch defender. And he's been very good for them offensively this year, because when Smart plays on the basketball, it allows Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to float off the basketball and shoot, catch and shoot threes and attack closeouts and do all that good stuff. But when you don't have Smart, you can still give the ball to Jason Tatum.
Yeah, right.
and he's pretty good at look, Miami's defense is amazing, so it's not like he's having to go against the Charlotte Hornets on a sleepy night in February or whatever. But Tatum is absolutely a guy that can be like an A1 creator for you and win a playoff game at home. You know what I mean? So. And they've got a guy, you've got someone like guys like Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. They can come in. I mean, Pritchard has a target on his back defensively, but you've got some guys that can give you a little bit more elsewhere too to fill in the gaps. But yeah, if you take out any of the main guys in these rotations, it's tough because you just got to ask more from someone else. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that can just over the course of a couple of weeks work out. It's like no, we got to win a game tonight. So, but yeah, you would lean on Tatum, really offensively.
Where were you when Andrew Wiggins killed Luka Doncic?
on my couch and then up in the air, I think is how that goes. Incredible, just an incredible moment. One of the best in-game dunks. You'll see. I'm spoiled because I watch 82 games of Miles Bridges every year, and I've also gotten to see Zion Williamson play up close. So I've seen him. So I've seen some unbelievable in-game dunks. Yeah. But that was absolute nasty, and certainly was just a fitting. Wiggins had a great game. He's having a good season. He's having a good series. Yeah. And yeah, what he did to Luka probably should have made a business decision and bailed out. That's the one time where Luka should take some advice from me on the basketball court.
So here's the thing about this play, Brian, and we're talking with Brian Geisinger, League Pass Lair, ACCSports.com. I lost a little bit of respect for the flop. There was no contact with Luka's eye. He's holding his eye. I mean, Wiggins sort of bumped him in the armpit. Any contact with Luka's eye was caused by Luka, not by Andrew Wiggins. But I gave them the respect back for appreciating the dunk in the postgame. Is that a fair trade?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair, and it's fair on Luka. He's out there doing his thing. He is a guy that is going to try to, for lack of a better term, he's gonna try to create
embellish
some offensive fouls.
Exactly.
Right. He's gonna maybe accentuate some contact, but yeah, look, if you can come afterwards and after the fact and not take yourself completely seriously, I think that's good, and give it up for a competitor who made obviously Wiggins made a hell of a play. It was amazing.
All right, out west we have the Warriors going for the sweep tonight. Where do the Warriors rank? When you look at a dynasty, essentially, other than the injuries that really took them out in the last couple of seasons. This could be 6 out of 8 years, at least in the NBA Finals. The Lakers with their runs with Kobe and Shaq, and then Kobe and his friends. The Spurs, where do they rate? Are they better than the LeBron James dynasty?
Whew. In Miami?
No, the LeBron James dynasty. Cleveland, a few years later, he goes to Miami. They go to 4 straight. And then how many in a row with Cleveland? 4 in a row as well with Cleveland?
4 in a row, including a win.
Times in the finals. Give me a break.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm a little biased both by my preference for sports and my age, but I think what LeBron did, and certainly especially with the apex of it being the 2016 finals win against Golden State where they beat the 73 win Warriors team. I think that's the greatest individual stretch of play in a team sport. Again, you can make cases for lots of other things. So I'm not even saying that's definitive. But again, squaring it with both my age and my own interest, I think that is the most impressive thing. But what Golden State is doing is amazing. They won a championship in 2015. Here we are in 2022, on the other side of of a pandemic, and this team is still here. Like Klay Thompson didn't play basketball for 3 years or 2.5 years or whatever. He's back. He's been not perfect, but pretty good this season. It really is a testament to the individual brilliance of Stephen Curry, the individual defensive brilliance of Draymond Green, and also what he does as a playmaker. And then just how those two guys are they're so perfect with one another as two stars, right? There's other examples you can borrow, I'm sure, as far as two guys that were both individual stars and all-time players, but they were able to consistently hit a higher level because of this one other guy that they played with, and the concept of team basketball that Steve Kerr and his staff have built in around it. Like, it's a whole production. And look, like, I am not one to go out of my way to give a lot of compliments to like the uber wealthy here in America. But shout out to Joe Lacob being down to pay $100 million tax bill on his, like, you want to look up and are wondering like, wow, how can a team have Andrew Wiggins as like a fourth guy? Well, it just cost a lot of money, but you can do it. And I wish more ownership groups would do it. But looking up and seeing that you have Steph Curry and Draymond Green and saying, no, we're going to try to, like, with these two guys, we still have a championship window. We owe it to them. We already sunk a lot of money into this. It's a sunk cost, whatever. But like, we're going to go for it. And so, like, I mean, like, this is like, hope maybe more ownership groups will see this. You know what I mean? And say like, hey, maybe it is worth it to. Probably. I know
they won't. But I think you're smart to highlight this, and here's why. The idea that you run a professional franchise like a regular business, to me, is dumb, because the professional franchise always goes up in value. Always goes up in value. You will get your money back upon sale of that team when you want it. If that team goes in the red a year, 2 years, whatever, I mean, as long as you continue to put good product on the court or on the ice or on the field, you'll get that money back, whether it's immediately with long playoff runs, which the Warriors have gotten. Look, it's expense. Tom Dundon pays the Hurricanes right to the luxury tax, or rather right to the salary cap. If it was a luxury tax system and you could extend it, I promise you, he would do that. He would put the best product he could on the ice because he understands that the investment in that team would come back to the team in the form of season tickets and sponsorships and all that. And the deeper you go in playoffs, the more money you get from that as well. And it's all about franchise value. The Mets just sold for what? $4 billion, right?
Can you imagine if the Warriors like went on the market right now? What that team with their 2-year-old palace that they play in San Francisco, it would be like what, 5?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be 5. I don't think NBA franchises like the Lakers. The Lakers would be probably about 4 or 5. The Dodgers were a $4 billion team, or actually, I think they were sold for 2. But for instance, I've seen plenty of valuations.
It's a lot of money. Is the point?
The Yankees, the Dallas Cowboys are probably in terms of how Forbes magazine evaluates franchise values. The Cowboys are probably the most expensive, most valuable franchise in American sports at about $7 billion.
Well, when you just keep doing nothing but winning Super Bowls, like the Dallas Cowboys,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't even matter about that. That's the thing. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But I promise, if the Yankees were put on the auction block, that number would be $10 billion.
Yeah, it would.
$10 billion.
I would say like 5 to 10. So yeah, I agree.
Well, I think they're valued at about $6 billion. So
oh my God.
I think the price on the auction block would be closer to $10 billion. All right, Brian Geisinger. I don't even remember what we talked about. We'll try it again later.
You were about to give me $10 billion, so I'll look for that on Venmo. Thanks, Gold. I appreciate you guys.
Let me see what I have here. I have some change. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
It sounds good, guys.